Hello, friends. Thanks for joining me again on Mondays with Doc. You know, one of my favorite people in the whole world is a lady named Sandy. In a moment, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. But let me ask you a question. What's your favorite news feed? What is your favorite news feed, your source of information, or for some of you, even inspiration? Is it the daily news? Is it the newspaper? Maybe it's Fox News or CNN, MSNBC. Maybe it's OAN, One America News, NPR, BBC, HuffPost, PBS. Or some of you are being so inspired and encouraged because sports is coming back and your favorite news feed is ESPN. Or maybe it's something else. Here's my second question. What makes it your favorite? Is it the personalities? Is it their political bent? Is it the way they communicate? Is it because they make you think? Maybe it's because you agree with them. Or maybe it's because they agree with you. Third question. How often do you allow this source to feed you? Daily? Weekly? Hourly? I don't know. How often do you allow this source to feed you? Here's my fourth question. After a while of watching or reading, how do you feel? Does it motivate you, make you want to do a good deed? Does your news feed inspire you? Does it challenge you to love your neighbor? Hopefully you will at least be encouraged on your life's journey. We can all use some encouragement. Do you feel like your soul or spirit has been fed or even refreshed? Do you think you're a better person? You know, you could ask those same questions about the people you call friends. Do they motivate, inspire, challenge, or encourage you? Or do they simply just bring you the daily gossip of what they heard over the night? You know, often I'll read some things on my iPad. It's where I keep one of my Bibles there, and I can either read it or I can, because of an app I have, it can be read to me. But my favorite source of inspiration and information is my Bible. Why? Because it's relevant, helpful, life-changing, and life-challenging. Oh, I like reading books, especially biographies and autobiographies. We all need inspiration, and sometimes those books can really inspire me. You know, there was a lady in Bible class I was teaching years ago. She was not what I would call a follower of Christ, but she was definitely an inquirer. And I asked this question: why do you think people don't like reading the Bible? She raised her hand, and initially I was not going to call on her because I thought she doesn't really understand the question. But I called upon her and she said, well, Pastor, I think that a lot of people like reading the newspaper or watching news on television because, watch my hands. She said, it tells you what's going on out here, out there. She says, but when you read the Bible, again, watch my hands. She says, the Bible tells you what's going on in here. And then she says, and most people don't like to know what's going on in here. They'd rather know what's going on out there so they can blame someone else. There's another lady in my church. That's Sandy, the lady I told you I really love. I love Sandy. And here's the reason why. Here's one of the reasons, probably the main reason. In 2002, my stepfather, John Akins Jr., passed away. And ever since then, Sandy has reached out to my mother, who is now 85 years of age. She has loved my mom. She has called my mom. She has sent my mother cards. And on occasion, when I go down to see Mama, she'll say, honey, I heard from Sandy again. And then she'll tell me what's going on in Sandy's life. And I'll sit there thinking, with all that's going on in Sandy's life, she still has time to reach out to my mama. And I go, I sure love you, Sandy. Sandy Denny, you're a very special lady to me and my family. Had another friend, he challenged his church to reach beyond its culture, and not just on Sunday mornings when they're all together in church, which is challenging right now because of this COVID. But he said, we need to reach out. God has challenged me to reach out beyond those in our church who look like me. You see, his news feed told him to love one another. I have another couple that are retired, and they kept reading their news feed, and it told them they ought to reach out to the least of these, because they read in their news feed some of these words. I was in prison, and you visited me. They are now incredible prison ministers in their retirement ages. I got another good friend named Hal Donaldson. He's the founder and president of Convoy of Hope. His father was killed in an car accident when he was 12, and left him, his mother, and 3 other siblings, 10, 9, and 5, to be reared and to be raised by a single mom and other people in the church who reached out and loved them. You see, his news feed tells him to care for the poor, the widows, and the fatherless. He now has one of the largest compassion nonprofits in the world, Convoy of Hope. All these individuals' number one news feed is the Bible. So I ask you one more time, what is your favorite news feed, and what does it tell you to do? In fact, what does it tell you about you? Actually, you might want to make your mirror a source. You say, why would I want to make my mirror a source for news feed? Well, it will help you check out channel WDYC. You say, what is channel WDYC? What do you see? What do you see when you look in that mirror? My last question is simply this. Does your news feed only have you focused on the right now, the present? Or does your news feed help you prepare for what's ahead, the eternal? Now you know. What will you do? God bless you.